right, we're clicking some buttons.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, I make the same mistake every single week, and that is I leave the YouTube window open, then I click go live, then I hear myself, then I cringe, and just the cycle continues. But we are live. Jake Hildreth, welcome.
I should probably put my real name up there, but
it's
fine.
Hello, what up, people? I see PH, the admin. Steven, what up? We have a pretty exciting session today. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes here. We're letting our dear horse, maybe. Are you moving on from emoji or are you going to leave the emoji?
Yeah, let me change it. Let me figure out how to do that. I feel like my marketing people would get mad at me if I didn't change it and show my actual name.
I could change it.
Yeah, change my name.
Do Jake Hildreth or what?
Yeah, Jake Hildreth's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for taking care of my marketing team's job.
Yes. All right. What else do we have to do? Do we just get into this? I feel weird. I've been sick this week, so if my sound a little stuffy, my bad. But I guess we just get into it, Jake. Oh wait,
it's that time of year. Oh wait,
we have some fun stuff coming up, don't we? You're talking about security here. Yeah. Do we have anything else? Are we talking any other times this year?
I don't know. What are you doing on June 1st?
Oh man, I'm actually in Germany in June.
Hey, wait. I am also in Germany in June. Oh my God. That's weird.
PSCon for you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What is the name? What's the topic of the talk that we're giving together? Because I don't actually remember. Something securing PowerShell?
Securing PowerShell from the ground up. Yes, sir.
Ooh,
yeah.
From the bottom to the top?
From the bottom to the top,
It's important.
I know you know this, but the others maybe don't know this. I talked to the Shell father this morning. We had a little chat this morning. Open office hours, by the way. He retired yesterday. Jeffrey Snover.
Yep.
Is doing office hours, and I highly, highly recommend going and having a 30-minute chat with him. I came in with an agenda. I hit some questions, but mostly it was just kind of chatting with one of your buds. And yeah, he'll be there. And yeah, should be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Jeffrey Snover, he's making the rounds. Congrats on an amazing career. Don Jones retires, Jeffrey Snover retires, but PowerShell Wednesday, we keep going here,
That's right, baby.
The future needs us. So, welcome everybody, PowerShell Wednesday. Every single Wednesday, this time, we're here, we're having fun. We're learning as well. We learn, but we also, we giggle. We might prank occasionally. I didn't mean to prank Tara last week, but I found myself in a situation where, I love awkward. Jake, what are you talking about today? Because you actually are the guy responsible for this project called Locksmith, which we've had you on the pod before, talked about. A lot of people use it. What is Locksmith, real quick? And then we can get into what you're talking about today.
Yeah, no problem. Locksmith is, okay, so the tagline, I've got this open right now. A small tool built to find and fix common misconfigurations in Active Directory certificate services. So Active Directory certificate services is this, it's Microsoft's public key infrastructure implementation, tightly integrated with Active Directory. They're essentially one system. There's some very, some slight separation, but essentially one system. And it's a beast. Anybody that's worked in Active Directory knows that Active Directory is a beast. Anybody that's worked with PKI knows that PKI is a beast. And not surprisingly, when you attempt to Voltron the two together, it kind of exponentially grows into this beast that's not really easily contained. So I built Locksmith to help tame it a little bit, right? And mainly focused on the guy that I was. Now I can't say 5 years ago anymore. 10 years ago. Been doing it for too long, right? That you're busy. You can't figure out. You can't take the time to read 150 pages of a white paper in order to figure out what you need to do. You just need a thing that's here's what's bad. Here's how you can fix it. So, yeah, that's it. But what we're going to talk about today is the fact that this entire project grew from literally 40 lines of code. So we're going to look at that 40 lines of code. I still have it. Thank you, GitHub. And then we're gonna. You want me to just drop into the slides real quick?
Let's head into it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let me click
Okay,
a couple
cool.
buttons here. Click the right things.
Yeah. So I mean, anybody that's in the PDQ Discord knows that I'm not quite Fred level on talking about my toys, but I like to brag about my toys. So we're gonna do a little deck, right? So we are going from snippets to security tooling. Does that look okay on your end there,
Oh, it
Andrew?
looks gorgeous. Wow. You're gonna have to tell us about this little project too. But
You want to do
yeah,
that first?
looks
You want to
good.
do that second?
Let's do it second. We got a little bit of a roll right now.
All right, cool. So start out, we're just going to talk about what our agenda is. And then I'm going to put some repos up for you to follow along at home or at work, wherever you happen to be. Act 1, ADCS Snippets, 2022. The first thing that I wrote about ADCS. And we're going to talk about Locksmith as it was as a script, then Locksmith when it became a module, and then Locksmith 2, which is the current incarnation. And then after we go through all that, we're going to talk about how like Locksmith does, detections. It detects misconfigurations, right? So we're going to talk about what that looked like at the beginning and then how it worked all the way through to the end and what detections in Locksmith 2 look like. So we'll dig into that a little bit here and there. So we will see some actual code today, unlike most of my presentations where I'm just yammering on with pretty pictures in the background. So so here are the repos you can follow along. That is github.com/jakehildreth/snippets2tools. Or you could just go to jakehildreth.com and click the top button. Or if you trust me, you could scan that real quick. I'll leave this up for a few 10 seconds or something like that. So,
And I posted the link also in the chat for people who are here live.
You got it. Cool. All right. You think that's enough prologue?
We're logged in, man. We're prologued up.
Let's do Act 1. Let's talk about ADCS snippets. So, and I'm going to reorganize those a little bit so that way we're not flipping through all those before. Cool. All right. So, ADCS snippets. 2021, SpectreOps, well-known security company, released this white paper called Certified Pre-Owned. They detailed 8 different escalation paths in Active Directory certificate services to go from a low privilege user to something higher, sometimes as much as like forest compromise, right? Taking over the entire environment. It's pretty wild. I did a talk at B-Sides Charm. Shout out Mark Go, who is in the area. We love Mark Go.
We love him.
And as part of the talk, I kind of I had a bunch of code in my slides. And I hate when people just show me code on slides and don't give me a link to go do this, because I can't copy and paste your code from a slide while I'm sitting in the audience, right? So I created this repository, and as described, just a bunch of code snippets to identify and remediate common Active Directory certificate issues. I kind of have one theme, man, and I just keep going on it.
I mean, it's pretty challenging. A lot of people get it wrong, so.
Right. But this is all it is. I mean, what's the misconfiguration? How do you find it? How do you fix it? What's the next misconfiguration? This one's a link because it really develop or remediating a single tier architecture is a little more than just doing a little code. Yeah, you have to build a new thing. So yeah. But yeah, you can see here, right? Find, reset, find, find, fix, right? It's these really simple, really targeted pieces. And when I was doing this presentation, I got really lucky at my last job in that the owner of my company, Trimark, pour one out, was really supportive of open source work and supporting the community, giving back to the community. I said, I would like to turn this into a tool. Can I turn this into a tool? He said, absolutely. Okay, cool. So that brings up Act 2. locksmith as a script. And this is the first working version of locksmith. And I'll give you a little behind the scenes here. When I first presented this in public, Wild West Hackin' Fest, 2022, yeah, I totally faked the entire presentation. Like, I knew what I wanted it to do, right? I had the things that I wanted it to do, but I hadn't figured out how to actually write all of the things that I wanted, right? And so without knowing it, I had done, design-driven development, right? This is the design that I want. Let's build the code behind it to make it do the things that I wanted. So you want to take a look at it?
Yeah, let's take a gander.
All right. So this is the one, right? Look at this. Look at this sad little repository, right? This is, I mean, what more do you need though? I got a to-do. I got a readme. I got an overview. I got the license. Can we touch on licenses real quick?
It's pretty important. A lot of people miss it.
If you're, in my opinion, MIT is the way to go. It says you're giving back. I don't care what you do. It's great. That being said, I did modify my license a little bit over time and added the commons clause to the license, which says you can do whatever you want with mine, but you cannot sell this software with this name and say that it's your own. That's all. So that was one thing that's one of the restrictions that I feel is appropriate for open source licensing. What do you think?
I think definitely. One note about the licenses is if you find a project that doesn't have a license in it, some organizations, I mean, really you shouldn't use it if there isn't one, I guess, but some organizations are a lot more serious about that. So you create this project, you share it online. If you don't have that license, you may be accidentally not helping people when you don't really care. You're sharing it anyways, right? So just add the license.
Yeah, it takes no time at all. And if you're creating a GitHub repo now, they actually allow you to select a license as you are going through the dropdown. I think MIT may even be the default. I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, choose a license. It's not hard. There's even one, if you don't want to think about it, it's called unlicensed. And it is literally saying, I'm putting this in the public domain. I don't care what you do with it. I literally do not care what you do with it. So yeah, take the time. It really just takes no time at all. So, all right, let's look at what invoke. I will say, when I first created this, it was locksmith.ps1. Didn't follow the PowerShell, guidelines of verb noun. Somebody pointed it out within the first day of me talking to them. So now it's invoke locksmith, right? I'm not going to dig into details here, but what was that? Sorry.
Was that when you got that first feedback? How did it feel? Like, was that your first time ever getting open source feedback, or?
It was from a coworker.
Oh,
and
okay.
so I was already well aware of that anyway. It was more of a like, oh yeah, this is doing a thing, right? It's not an application. It's a
Invocation. Yeah.
It's an invocation. Ooh, not an application, an invocation. I like it. So you can see I tried to do right. I've got common base help at the top. I've got some parameters. I'm doing commandlet binding.
Can we control plus a couple times?
Yeah, we can do that. No, we can command plus because I'm on a Mac. You know this.
I say it for the people out there, I'm on Mac.
So there we go. Is that looking okay?
Perfect.
If I go much bigger, I don't know that I can. Wait, I can hide this, can't I? Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's not a real project until it has an ASCII logo. So I created an ASCII logo, defined some variables up top, right? Got some functions. I got, a bunch of stuff that we're not going to dig into too deeply on this, but I'm doing stuff. There's functions. It's cool. And, we're going to talk a lot about ESC1 later. So this is the function that finds ESC1, escalation path 1. And we scroll all the way to the bottom. and we actually format stuff, and then we output some stuff to the terminal. Format table, format list, which I now know you don't do that in real PowerShell tools, right? You send objects back to the pipeline. I didn't know back then. This is just what I did. So that was that. What are we looking at here? 476 lines, and we've got what 50 lines of comment-based help at the top. So 400 lines ish.
You know the technical term for that? It's a certified chunker.
When do you hit the limit of where you're like, you get twitchy and you're like, I need to refactor this? What's your limit?
Ooh, I mean, hundreds. Like, I mean, 100 lines, you can kind of, okay, there's some bulk. 200, 300, you should start thinking about it probably. 400, 500, like, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
All right, cool. What if you are shipping something as a monolithic script?
Oh, then there's no limit.
All right, there is no limit. That's correct. So this is the original version, right? That was, I believe, I don't know that we can see dates here. That was like November-ish of 2022. And then Act 2, right before we switched this over to modular, was in July of 2023. We take a look at that. And that's this, right? I've added to the README, right? The README before was pretty sparse. A friend recommended, hey, why don't you add to the README? Cool, I'll do that. I created examples that spit out like what the example output will look like, right? And we'll zoom in a little bit more here. And now we are looking at, this is intentional, yes. We're now at over 1,000 lines of code, right? Probably including the comment-based help, but now we've added some new detections. We've added, in the time between me writing this and releasing or getting to July of 2023, some new ESC paths had come out. I think we were up around ESC 10, maybe ESC 11. Like we're adding on. So it just continues to grow and grow and grow. Unfortunately, still doing format table and format list. And I'm gonna give you a little spoiler alert. Current locksmith still does that. Too lazy to fix it. So it grew and it grew and it grew, and it became this like, Sam Erdy joined the core team. Spencer Alessi joined the core team at that time. The locksmith years, I believe you called them when you were on with.
I say the just greatest things. The locksmith years, yeah, like the Three Musketeers. Ay. Oh, me and nicknames, man. They just come and they just don't go.
Would you mind repeating the pronunciation of the term that you coined earlier today?
Oh yeah. So whenever you're messing around with things, you sometimes FAFO, mess around, you learn, and then FTW at the end of it for the win, right? And it's pronounced fafo fetois. It's just a way of living. It is. You got it. It's PowerShell right there. Fafo fetois.
I love it. Let's
hear you say it one time, could we?
Fafo fetois.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
That's gonna be a new meme, isn't it? It's pretty wild. All right, so we are now here, right? We are now. This thing is pretty well developed. I think I'm trying to remember what I ended up improving things like the defining variables. I've improved the overall quality of the code has really just gone up in that like 6 months. It's shocking, and we will touch on this in a little bit. But like what having just a little bit of community involvement really does. Actually, do you want to touch that right now? You want to dig into that right now?
I'd love to. Honestly.
Cool. So we'll talk about just some closed issues, and we will go oldest to newest. Let's go oldest here. Simple ones, right? Cannot call a method on a null valued expression. That's just poor coding, right? But things like consider using strict mode. I did for a while, and I quickly pulled it out because that's not what that's for, right? It's for when you're in development mode, you enable that to make sure you're writing correctly. If you plan to let your tools be involved or used by other people, like strict mode is kind of, to me at least, a little too restrictive, right? But, these between initial release and modularization, we had, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different issues submitted. One by me, one by Sam, right? But also a bunch from the community. And just reading those issues, let's dig into this one, right? SID translation error. Translating from a security identifier into a name that's easily readable by a human was having issues. So this is a well-written bug report, right? He described exactly what he was doing, what systems he tested it on, what he had done, privilege-wise. And then I was able then to take that bug report, ingest it, digest it, write new stuff. Also, I think Sam's great. He honestly probably wrote the fixes himself. So yeah, lots and lots of community involvement when you find a tool that's working for you. So
which is basically makes your project better, and you get to share it with other people. Like, it just makes everyone better. If you can get past that initial fear of like, sharing it with the world. I mean, from what you're showing here, which is, I'm sure we'll talk about this more, but I absolutely love it. It's what we tell everyone to do in PowerShell. If you have code that's working for you, who gives a crap if it's perfect PowerShell Wednesday, this or that? You get started now, you share it with others, it helps them, they help you. And then several years later, you maybe even share a talk like this. Like, that is exactly what we're going for. And you made a lot of like beginner mistakes or beginner decisions, right? That everyone kind of finds themselves falling into. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Even if the code never improved, if it does its job, what the heck's the problem?
Shall we quote the Judd? Working code is working code.
That is true.
It may not be the fastest, it may not be the most pretty, but if it gets the job done, yeah.
Yep.
Can't
doesn't
complain,
mean
right?
If there are things to improve, doesn't mean you even have to. Sometimes it's worth it, but sometimes it's just not, right? You did the thing, you moved on, it's all good.
Right. I'm going to bring up a blog that I wrote because now, mid-July, I got this random PR from this guy that I did not know. Right? I love when a real developer is like, hold my beer. PK, right? I can't even pronounce his name.
Evotech.
Yeah, Evotech, right? Came by and was just like, hey, by the way, now your script is a module. I had attempted to play with modules before, but they were always, just a .psm1, right? I'd had no building, no verification that code was working properly. It was literally just like, I'm throwing all of my stuff into a PSM1. I'm going to load that, and then I can use those functions. If those words were confusing to you, get at me. We'll walk through what that means. I'd love to help anybody. But yeah, he came by and just like does this. And now every single piece of this 1,000-line script has been split up and is now clearly defined into build, private, and public, right? This is not the standard for everybody, but this is a very common way now to do PowerShell modules. I see you wanted to say something there.
Well, it is kind of common. I think that just build refers to what are we building here whenever we say build with the software project?
The way that Evotech uses or has written this module called PS Publish module, which takes a bunch of individual PS1 files, right? I had all of those functions in my monolithic script. Takes all of those functions and splits them out into individual .ps1 files, right? So it takes a build process, takes all of those PS1s and combines them and turns them into a module. That's all that means. That's what at least in PowerShell language, right? Other languages are going to have their own approach to that. Maybe build for them means you're compiling into, executable code for a computer to read, but PowerShell is human readable. So it is literally like taking all of that stuff, making sure the code is good. His module actually runs PS script analyzer to make sure that you are following best practices, that any functions that are called from external function or modules are included in the requires. It's very, very bare bones compared to some of the other module builders out there, but it does what it's supposed to do.
Perfect.
And yeah. So we've already jumped ahead a little bit. Oh no. We are now at Locksmith 3, the module version. So yeah, that was that, right? You can see here all of the things that we had before. Find, get, right? All these things are now just little individual functions. And what I'll show you is what this looks like. This write activity bar. Andrew.
I thought you said this last time too.
I change it to the left as soon as I'm off the call with you. As
really?
soon as
you just do it for me?
Yeah,
that
just for you.
Makes me feel good and bad. I want the real Jake,
But see, now instead of having this 1,000-line script that is difficult to work with, I now have, right? We've got 30 lines of comment-based help. And this one has a lot of string stuff in it. So it's got to be longer, right? But the logic for this is not super long, 70 lines. It's not bad. 70, 80 lines. Yeah. Completely manageable, right?
Oh yeah.
And you're not scrolling around to find, where's that section that I was working in? I know Justin Grody has gone to the single, back to the monolithic kind of script approach with regions and whatnot. So you can use the outline over here to kind of find what you want to work on. It doesn't make sense for my wee little brain yet. So yeah, this is what we get. We get this, split up thing. And one thing that really helps me now still to this day is splitting things into private and public, right? Private. Consumer of this is never going to see these functions.
So if I import it, I can't run those.
You cannot run those.
I can't, but maybe you could.
But invoke locksmith, the single public function, is calling all of those functions. And so it makes you think, it forces you to think about what do I actually want the end user to do versus what will all of these functions need to work. So yeah, that's where we're at with Locksmith, literally the first module version. You want to go see what it looks like now?
Yes.
All right, cool. We are now here. We have private and public. We have a folder named tests. Don't let that dissuade you. That is not an actual testing folder. I didn't understand what tests were when I created this. It's got a bunch of other crap in it. But build docs right? My man Sam, he has built out a full CI/CD pipeline for this, that when we publish, it creates updated documentation. It, creates images of stuff. It creates an MKDocs folder site that allows people to kind of look at the actual contents of Locksmith and see how to use it in a more friendly fashion than Get Help. Granted, we have good Get Help, but some people, I know you're one of them, Get Help, module name, -online, takes you here.
Considerate of you. So considerate, thinking of others. I like that a lot.
UX, right? That's what
And
user experience is about.
That was your first time going through that whole creating a website dynamically and all that?
That was my first time having that done for me.
Oh,
I still have not done it myself, as far as creating a site for it. I have created a few CI/CD pipelines now at this point for automatically publishing to the PowerShell gallery, but I have not done the actual MKDocs stuff myself yet. So that's on my to-do list, is to learn how to do that better. So
sweet.
Yeah, I listened to Glenn, our friend Glenn, his talk about documentation is user experience recently. Fell in love with Glenn at that point, because yes, and realized that there was a module out there called Documentarian, and I really need to get into that. So yeah,
Sweet.
So that's where Locksmith is today, right? We've got a lot of coverage, really good README, really good. We can output to different file formats, et cetera, et cetera. This is what it looks like if you run it. Let's see here. This is my, let's do invoke Locksmith, and we'll just do it with no parameters. This is my ADCS lab, and it is messed up. So you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff go scanning by. Hey, look at that. Cannot call value on null delete expression. But I'm sure you're seeing, I don't know if you're seeing this, if it'll catch it up that quickly, but lots and lots of critical issues, right? Scrolling by.
Yep. Purple's critical?
Red. Red is high. Medium, we got medium. That's the critical, right? We've got critical issues. The purple is just a header because I really like purple. So yeah, that's all. And again, this is breaking PowerShell rules, right? By having all this stuff output, you cannot pass it down the pipeline. This is breaking rules. I made a decision. This is fine for now. So
sometimes that's the right choice, right? If you try and do everything perfect, you'll never do anything. And I definitely think people are stuck in that spot, and I have been as well.
What's the phrase? Don't let the
perfect be the
perfect. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yep.
And I need to remember that at all times, right? So yeah, that's where Locksmith is today. People are getting tons of benefit out of it. I had someone come up to me at a conference recently and said, I quoted somebody basically 4 weeks of work to do a ADCS assessment, and I was able to get it done in 2 weeks. And I said, are you going to give me the cut of the money, the extra bonus money that you made? And he's like, no, I actually just cut their bill down, right? So like that, to me, that's what I want. And you don't need to know anything to run this. You literally can run one command and get value out of it. So about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, somewhere around there, I realized though that updating this, because it was designed initially as a script and moved into a module without any real thought about architecture, when you need to add a new detection, and there was just another new ESC added to the list. We're up to 17 now. The initial list was 8. We are up to 17 now, different escalation paths. I had to touch at least 7 different files to be able to now add that detection, because I've got formatting happening over here, and I've got, but I have to list all of the things that I want to format in that one. And then I've got a detection function over here, but that one, it's messy, it's hard, it's overwhelming. So I decided for sure back in December of 2024, all right, it's Locksmith 2 time. We're doing it. Let's do it.
And this is Locksmith 2 Electric Boogaloo, or is that something else?
It is Electric Boogaloo. Yes, actually. Andrew Plobaloo. I don't know. But yeah, at that point, we are now into Act 4, Locksmith 2, right? And I'm now, my focus with this toolkit is to focus on, well, number one, sweet logo. That's super important. Number two, making it easy for any developers that want to add detections to this to be able to do it easily. And the way that I've done that is by really being considerate about what I'm going for. Like I really spent 6 months just thinking about the user flow, but also the developer flow, and came into using classes. So you and I have talked several times now. I still don't understand classes super well. But you know who does? Claude. Claude understands classes. I said, this is the thing that I want, right? And now we have a class that defines all these things for this object. And now I know that when I have created, instead of a PS custom object and like I have this thing that allows me to simply feed information into it, and it creates an object for me that I can then use and expect certain properties to exist on it. It really does kind of save time and effort and mental energy by working with classes. I've got 3 different ones: objects, issues, and principles, right? When I looked at Locksmith, the original, like these are the things that I was working for. You had objects that can have issues, and those issues can be abused by certain principles, right? And those are all different classes of thing. I can see your face. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. No.
Okay.
Taking it in.
Yeah. Another thing, maybe I'll look at it over here. I think this might be easier to see. I also considered, and I know this is not a common way of doing things. As soon as I showed a real developer buddy of mine, like how I split up my functions, he's like, typically you split things up by the type of object that you're working with. I think maybe the PowerShell-ness has gotten into my brain, and that first thing that I see, right, the verb, is what I think about. And so,
right, the verb instead of the noun. I get it.
Yeah. So, we've got gets, we've got initializes, we've got invokes. Oh, we don't have any invokes. We've got news, we've got all the sets all in one place, right? This thing is a beast now. I'm not going to lie to you. It is thousands upon thousands of lines of code. But we look in here, and I've got almost, okay, so we've got 150 lines of code for this function. We're looking at 50 lines of comment-based help. So we're right at my personal twitchy limit, which is 100. However, like all of this stuff, every single function that I have is now supporting pipeline ability. every single function throws proper error records instead of, just throw or write error, right? It's doing all the right things. It's not requiring dependencies, right? I have no more dependencies on the Active Directory module. I have no one of the biggest issues and requests that came out of the community is, hey, can you make this run without the Active Directory module? Number 2, can you make this run from a non-domain joined machine, right? Yes. Scratch your beard a little more. Ask me your question.
I'm wondering if you did. I'm curious. Did you make it work? Or
do you want to see? Do you want to see?
I do, in fact.
The bomb is missing from this. This should show a cool logo. Sorry. Yes.
Blame VS Code. Blame VS Code.
I will blame VS Code. Actually, you know what? Let's switch over to PowerShell 7. So let's do that. Invoke locksmith do, and we will keep the PowerShell check-in. So there's my pretty logo, right?
Nice.
So we installed the all the things that it needs, and now I can just do my administrator account and my very super secret password, and something broke. Cool. Let's try that again. It's not real life unless we, oh, you know what? Let's do this fresh. Another thing is the original locksmith did not take into account the, like, once you scanned, there was no storage, right? It scanned it, output to the console. That was it. You could output to CSV.
No artifact, no file that you can.
No artifact, no file, etc. Yeah. So now I can actually rescan. Oh, let's actually set some credentials. I will tell you also that I did not. I put this down 2 weeks ago because I hit a limit where I was like, I can't. I'm just thinking about this stuff all the time, and if I continue down this path, I am going to either drive myself into burnout on this, or I'm going to it's going to be bad in general, right? Super important thing that I found is that when I am dreaming about a module or something that I'm working on, it's time to step away for a couple of weeks. So I am in that phase right now. I am in the I need to step away phase. So yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, that's great things to share because I've definitely been caught in the tunnel vision.
Absolutely. Let's see. Okay, so we are cannot verify credentials and forest connectivity. So I don't know what I broke. Here's where we are. It happens. I swear this is my password. Oh, you know what? There we go. And we are not going to rescan. We're just going to invoke locksmith 2. I don't know. It's in a broken state. We'll see that. Let me do this. Let's try to do it. It is actually up available on the gallery right now. It's possible that I'm working on a in between kind of yeah.
I would import it /force because I think it's already imported, so it wouldn't re-import the new installed one.
You're right.
Import. But this is very common stuff, right? Like as we make changes to things, some of those things go a little bit wonky.
Well, especially when you put it down for 2 weeks, right? Like that's the thing too. I'm sure if I had done this, we had this presentation 2 weeks ago, no issue.
Yep.
All right. Forest name. This. And
I love typing when everyone's watching.
Here we go. There we go. Objects. Back to the pipeline. Back to the pipeline, right? We now have this you could pass this off to export as CSV, right? Convert to JSON and write the file and then ingest it into something else. But I also wanted to provide some really lightweight kind of reporting. So we can do an actual dashboard here.
Okay.
And this is what we get now. Right? So I know a lot of people, and one of the common complaints is, can we do this to HTML? Again, thank you, Evatech. PS write HTML. It was literally like I just had to pipe that list of objects that we received into a bunch of different pages. So, and now we get Excel output, CSV output, PDF output. We want to search for specific things. Let's see. We're going to look for, where is the issue type? We're going to look for equals.
You got filtering out here? What?
Bro.
It's built in, right? You didn't have to do this, or it just...
Yeah, it's built in. I couldn't do this myself. Sweet. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do any of this. But yeah, equals. And we'll do, let's do an ESC4A, right? And then you look below and we've got all of the ESC4As. All of these right now kind of look similar. They've all got the same ordering of columns and whatnot. But an issue that I have for myself is to make each of these tabs kind of point, or, have the important information first. So that way you don't have to dig into anything to find the details that you need. But if you need to, right, we got a drop down here that shows you all the detail of every finding that has come up, including what the issue is, how to fix it, how to revert the changes that you put into place, etc. So,
whoa, can we clap? Can we clap? Can we clap? What up? What up? What up? Yo, that is huge. And I just want to highlight real quick, because you're sharing something with the community. We can use this right now, and this presentation right here, the way that it looks, was designed for managers. They will be so happy to see this kind of interface, like such an easy win. And the cool thing is that you're sharing this with the world, and it's built on top of something that someone else, evotech.xyz, shared with the world. Like, that is what we are going for, borrowing each other's projects, because you don't have to write everything from scratch. It's just beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's the progress of the tool itself. I just want to show you real quick what ESC1 looked like as we walk through it. If we could do that real quick. I know we're getting towards the top of the time, and then or do you want to drop into deck real quick and just talk about deck?
I want to see what we're looking at here. I'm in no rush, man. There's no rules. We make the rules here. It's PowerShell Wednesday,
That's right.
We're learning.
That's right. All right. So what I called dangerous misconfiguration number 2 when I was initially giving this talk. SpectreOps folks called ESC1. And what an ESC1 is, you can request an authentication certificate, right? So you can authenticate as someone. But when you're requesting that certificate, you can say, along with my name on this certificate, I also want my domain admin's name on this certificate. And then once you get that certificate back, you can authenticate as either you or the domain admin.
I could see how that could be a little dangerous. I could see.
Just a little bit, baby.
Well, and the sad thing is people who don't have this, they don't know it.
Yeah.
More than likely, at least.
Yeah. So, client auth EKUs. So EKU stands for extended key usage, or enhanced key usage. Client authentication, right? It allows client authentication. These numbers are unimportant right now, but they mean a thing that says that this certificate can be used for authentication. And then we scroll through and we find, it is a certificate template. It has these extended key usages that match that list. It has this, which means that it allows you to provide that additional name. This, which means that a manager does not need to approve a certificate before it is issued. It just gets issued immediately. And these down here means that you don't need to have someone else submit the request on your behalf. So this seems like a situation that would never happen in real life. I can tell you, 4 years into assessing ADCS, when I first started doing this, we saw this in 90% of environments where anybody could take over the environment that day in literally 6 seconds. I have a tool that I've written that does it, that has automated the process, and it is 6 seconds, start to finish. And that includes doing write host to show you what it's doing, which means it's slowing things down, right? So, yeah, it's wild. That number has fallen drastically. I'd like to think it's because of me, but also it's just because the community has gotten better about it. So, as it moved on, right? So we now have it here, and we'll look at find ESC1. So you notice it's pretty much the same thing, right? Is it a template? Does it use the EKUs? Does it have match all the settings that it needs to? But now it's taking all that information from whatever object it identified and feeding it out, creating an issue for you to use. That's all. In the original, or in this ADCS snippets version, it's just going to write it to the console, and you are expected to just kind of know what that means, right? You have problems with this thing, and this is where it's found in your Active Directory. That's it. Where are we at now? I don't remember which version this is. I'm glad I saved this. So let's see here. Let's see what it looks like in this version. And it's find ESC1. Not a lot of changes here, right? Same sort of thing. And then, of course, with the first working version, when it got split into a module, that logic is now in a private function called find ESC1. And again, it's the exact same stuff. And it's just separate. It's just easier to work with. That's all. That's all that has happened. But when we get to the current version of find ESC1, we have comment-based help, right? Again, I am mostly anti-AI. Like, I think it's doing a lot of damage for a lot of people's brains. I will never write a comment-based help on my own ever again. At least the get over the blank page thing. Like,
it's really good at that.
It just does so well. So, providing examples and providing notes on things that are relevant to the thing, right? Okay, we are now taking the same objects that we identified. Literally, this has almost never changed. This is pretty set in stone. But now we are converting the SID that was attached, converting that into a NT account format so that way humans can read it. We are also checking to see if it matches safe users, because like certain users should not be called out if there's an issue. You know, if you've got a domain admin and they have rights on this thing, what are you going to do? You know, we now have a ton of information added about what the issue is and created not via add member, right? We are creating a PS custom object and then defining those properties in that PS custom object.
Same thing, it just looks way cleaner, easier to maintain probably too.
It's cleaner, and also it doesn't really come into play here, but in some of the tooling that I worked with, actually at my current job as well, if you're doing add member is slow.
Yep.
And when you are add membering, what do we got here? 10 things. A typical ADCS, the collection that you're getting is, if you hit 1,000 objects that you've collected and need to process, you have some sort of wild environment, right? If you hit 1,000 objects in your Active Directory as a whole, that is incredibly tiny, right? We are dealing with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of objects. And that's when you need to start worrying about that add member stuff. So predefining what the object looks like and what to expect speeds things up so much. So yeah, that's what it looks like there. And then in Locksmith 2, check this out. I don't have a single find ESC1 function. Instead, I am defining what an ESC1 looks like, right? It will match this technique. It will have these conditions. Its enrollees will have one of the, like, separating logic from configuration is a huge thing. So now when I have a new ESC that I need to develop, I come into this one file and I define these things and it just goes. It's pretty cool.
Smart approach.
It's pretty cool. I don't know how I feel about using PSD1s as configuration files.
You listened to Gilbert on that one, didn't you?
Well, here's the thing. JSON's cool. XML's terrible, but useful in its own right. JSON's, but this to me, I'm still PowerShell brain, right? This is, I still understand this from my PowerShell brain. So that's all.
If it works.
Yeah. And I mean, so the functionality is, where is it at? Again, it's been 2 weeks since I looked at this. So I don't know. I've got a thing that's like, find vulnerable certificates, basically is what it's, or find vulnerable templates. So new. Hold on. Well, good. Now I'm frustrated. Now we got to find this. You know how that goes.
Oh, I know.
Test. So I got a bunch of tests, right? Like that's another thing too, is now you can think about like these little micro tests of whether an issue actually exists on a thing or not. Yeah. I don't know. I'll find it. Oh, wait, here it is. I know it's a public function. That's why I couldn't find it. So let's, find vulnerable template. I'm going to look at it back over in GitHub because it's a little cleaner. I've messed up my other environment at this point. So public, find vulnerable, not object, find vulnerable template. It takes in the stuff. You could define what techniques you want to look for, right? And yeah, we're starting to do weird stuff. PS bound parameters, like specify techniques that are allowed. And this is it's just taking a function or taking an object that is collected, comparing it against that ESC definitions configuration file, and if anything matches, it writes what it needs to, it spits it out. That's all. But again, intense. This is a big one. This chunky boy.
Certified chunker.
That's right. That is all I got for you, sir. I am this is where we're at. But Act 5, oh, that was the evolution of the detection. Act 6, you at home, you get to try. I would love to help you go from your snippets to a basic module and then take it to the next step. Publish it somewhere. If you're interested, get at me. Come to the PDQ Discord. I'm on there as Horse. We'd all love to help you. There's so many super friendly, helpful people there. So, yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's a great call out. Let Jake have that full circle moment, people. Get out there and do something.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, Andrew, one of the things you've been mentioning a lot on the podcast recently is like, if you have a question, help. It's or ask, right? Like the people that are more experienced, they love to show their knowledge to you and help you get to that aha moment. And I am just as guilty as anybody else. So
Yep, absolutely. When you ask a question, you give somebody the opportunity, the gift of teaching. And when you teach, you learn better. So it's just wins all around. Trust me, when I'm telling you, we do like helping people. Take a risk. Learn from Tara. She's a beginner going through this whole process. Join us.
Tara's little drop of her notes today was it warmed my little heart. Yeah, the page.
That was cool. She's been talking to me about PowerShell every day. She's like, "Oh, putting my time yesterday," and I'm like, "What?" She's hooked. It's really cool to see. So
it's amazing. You want to talk about this little guy a little bit?
Yeah, let's give it a little gander.
So I've had this thought in my mind for a while about. So you've worked with MARP, right?
Yep.
The Markdown presentation framework. It's like, man, I bet you could just do that to a. So what MARP does is it takes a Markdown file, standard Markdown. There are some, special things that they add to it. They're special own characters and stuff that do things, but takes Markdown, not Markdown, different, and converts it into HTML slides or PDF slides. It can actually do Excel slide or not Excel, PowerPoint slides, not with animations, but yeah, it can do a lot of like exporting things. But again, you're working with a Markdown file, not anything crazy. And I thought, yeah, let's do this in the terminal. And let's see if we can get content slides.md. This is literally just a Markdown file that created the presentation that you saw. That's all.
But are you borrowing like PowerShell Spectre console or?
Oh yes, sorry. Let me do. Yeah, it's PowerShell Spectre console to do a lot of the formatting, the Figlet outlet, output with the thing. But yeah, awesome. It's behind the scenes, just a Markdown file. So available on the gallery as well. Install module deck, and you can get it yourself. And I'd love to have somebody try it out and let me know what they think.
Oh, I will. When we do the podcast in just a few minutes, I'm downloading it right now. So that's a really cool
buddy.
That is sweet. I love that. So it's sort of like a provider-ish for MARP, but it's just Markdown generally.
I have considered, and let me know, you're a MARP user. Do you think fully supporting the MARP syntax is beneficial, or they've got some wild stuff in there that you think just
if you think you could do it all without having to spend tons of hours, but my guess is that there's probably some features that are just it's not worth your time. I feel like it's such a niche. What is it that I think other people might want to use a console?
My coworker said he was like, "Oh, I had the same idea and I came up with this," and he showed me, and he actually was like rewriting the Windows Terminal JSON to change the background of his terminal, and I was like, "That is." Bless you, buddy. That is so cool. I want to be cross-platform, and I don't know how that's going to happen with Mac, iTerm, Ghosty, just all these things, right? It's wild.
I don't think it would, but
yeah, absolutely. So
awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, thank you so much. That was really sweet. If you want to check that out, install Locksmith, install Slide. Is it Deck or Slide? It's Deck.
Deck.
Okay, that's right.
Deck. Yeah.
Okay.
It was
install
initially
deck.
slides. It was initially slides, and I went with deck because that's what you're doing. It's a slide deck. So
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I'd say learn from Jake. Get out there, put your stuff out there. I love the approach that you took too, because what you have going on with like what Locksmith started from, you're querying things. Okay, we all query things all the time. Cool, there's stuff in our environment.
all the time.
Well, eventually you're going to run into some situation where, hey, if this condition and this condition are happening, there's going to cause a problem. It's going to be a security issue, whatever it is. Okay, you can turn that into code. And then you can just save that as a snippet like you did, right? Maybe scripts and stuff is a little bit out of the range. You can start there. You can add a couple more, and all of a sudden you have a little collection, and then you can create a script or a module. You can go from there, but you have to get started somewhere. And saving what you do as you go is absolutely the way to do it, because you're building a mountain little by little.
Absolutely. And I love, using Git to track every single change. I was able to go in today and say, show me all the commits from, I knew my dates in my head of when, certain things happened with the project. Show me all the commits from here to here. And I'm able to select one that was representative of what the tools looked like at that certain time. And yeah, it's really, really powerful. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I hope some people get started. If you do, take Jake's offer of getting a module out there, doing something, let me know. Hit me up, Andrew Plot at Andrew Plot Tech. I'll send some swag to whoever reaches out to me and shows me evidence they've been out there doing their thing. And I know there's some capable PowerShellers in the chat. And if you're not a capable PowerSheller, but you're still interested, that's okay too. Join us at PowerShell Wednesdays just like this, or on the PDQ Discord, discord.gg/PDQ. In the PowerShell scripting channel, we do have a really supportive and great community. A lot of experts, a lot of people who are brand new in their journey, and a lot of people in the middle. So hopefully we can see you there. Jake, where can we find you on the World Wide Web? Just give yourself a little plug here.
All my stuff is at jakehildreth.com or dot.horse. That's ... horse. Yes.
Perfect.
But jakehildreth.com is a little easier to understand. So LinkedIn, I'm most active on, but also, have the Blue Sky thing and Mastodon somewhere out there too. But again, all those links at jakehildreth.com.
Sweet. jakehildreth.com. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. See you next week. And we're about to interview Jake for the podcast. So I think might even be coming out next week. Oh my gosh, Jake, a quick turnaround. So yeah, check out the interview with Jake. We're going to go a little bit behind the scenes, and I don't know, maybe I'll ask him some tough questions. We shall see. Take care, everybody. Oh.